Hi student, myself SAKET, and today I am going to discuss about the general anatomy of heart. So before starting with it, some basic point about the heart I want to discuss with you. You all know that our heart, human heart, is the mesodermal in origin. Next, if we talk about the size of heart, it is a size of clenched fist. That is in normally if we talk about the dimension, that is 12 by 9 centimeter. 12 by 12. Okay, so length will be 12, width will be what? 9 centimeter. So 12 by 9 centimeter. Next, if we talk about the weight of the human heart, that weight ranges between how much? That if you talk about the adult male heart, so that is 300 gram weight. And if you talk about the adult female heart weight, that is 250 gram. Okay, so male heart is 300 gram and female heart is 250 gram. Now next we will talk about the location of the heart. Okay, so heart is located between the two lungs, and the space between the two lungs is called as the mediastinum space. And in our body, the mediastinum space is divided into the three parts: superior mediastinum, inferior mediastinum, posterior mediastinum. So, and inferior mediastinum is also called as the middle mediastinum. So actual location of heart is what? Middle mediastinum. And one more thing, the heart is slightly tilted toward the left lung, so it push the wall of left lung. Because of that, in the lower side of the wall of left lung, one concave depression is formed, that is called as what? Cardiac notch. So this all about what? Location. Now I will talk about the general anatomy. See, first of all, the human heart, first of all, it is covered by the two-layered membrane called as the pericardium. So the outer membrane is called as the parietal pericardium, and the inner membrane, which is in the contact with the wall of heart, that is called as the visceral pericardium. Okay, and between these two membrane, that is what? Here, parietal pericardium and visceral pericardium, the space is present. This is called as the pericardial space. In this space, a fluid is filled called as a serous fluid is filled called as the pericardial fluid. And if the question will be asked in the NEET, who secrete this pericardial fluid? So you have to write the answer. Both parietal pericardium and visceral pericardium, these are the two who produce this pericardial fluid. What are the functions of pericardial fluid? It protects the heart from external shocks and jerks and prevent the friction between the parietal pericardium and visceral pericardium. So and keep the surface of heart moist. So these all are the common functions of the pericardial fluid. Now we will talk about the wall of heart. Okay, so the wall of heart that is made up of three layers. Outer layer, epicardium, which is made up of simple squamous epithelium. Middle layer is called as the myocardium, which is made up of cardiac muscles, and the innermost layer is called as the endocardium, which is also made up of simple squamous epithelium. So these three layers are there. Okay, and our human heart are having four chambers. These are the two upper chambers, these are the two lower chambers. The upper chambers are called as the atrium, lower chambers are called as the ventricle, and all are divided by valve, that is called as the septum. So both atriums are divided by both ventricles with the help of this wall. Okay, this wall is called as the atrioventricular septum. Okay, and if the question will be asked why the atria are smaller as compared to the ventricle, the reason behind that is what? This wall, atrioventricular septum, is shifted more toward what? Atria. That's why atria are what? Smaller size, and ventricles are what? Bigger size. Clear? Now both auricles or atria, right auricle, left auricle, are divided by the wall called as the interatrial septum. And interatrial septum shifted more toward the left auricle or left atrium. That's why the size of left atrium is smaller as compared to the right atrium. And both the ventricles, okay, right ventricle and left ventricles are also divided by one wall. This wall is called as the interventricular septum, and this interventricular septum is shifted more toward the right ventricle. That's why the left ventricle is bigger in size as compared to the right ventricle. So out of all these four chambers, which one is the largest chamber of heart? So your answer will be what? This left ventricle. Which one is the smallest chamber of the heart? That your answer will be what? Left auricle. Okay, after this, in the fetal stage, in this interatrial septum there is one opening is there, that is called as the foramen ovale. But just after the birth, this foramen ovale get covered, and still if you perform the heart surgery you will find the remnant of that foramen ovale will be there, that is called as, now called as what, fossa ovalis. Okay, now this wall is called as the atrioventricular septum. Okay, in this atrioventricular septum what happened, there is one opening is there between right atrium and right ventricle, there is one opening is there, between left atrium and left ventricle there is one opening is there. So this opening is called as the atrioventricular foramen, and atrioventricular foramen of each side is guarded by one valve. Okay, valve. So here the valve which is guarding the opening between the right auricle and right ventricle is called as the tricuspid wall, because this valve is made up of 3 cusps or flaps, and the opening between left auricle and left ventricle is guarded by the valve which is made up of 2 flaps or cups called as the bicuspid valve. Okay, and here if you see one thread like structure here, this is called as the chorda tendini. Okay, so this I will tell you afterward in my next video. So thank you.